African Safari Wildlife Park is a wild experience with over 800 exotic animals. Our drive-through safari features giraffes, zebras, deer, elk, alpacas, and even a white bison, all of which you can feed right from your vehicle. Walk on the wild side with the Zoo It All Pass and feed kangaroos, porcupines, tortoises, and rabbits. Step into our aviary adventure and hand-feed budgies for a memorable experience. Check out our live educational shows or ride a camel. Create memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio Safari Park, African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Morning Show right here on Main Street TV. And, of course, Jennifer here all by myself to start the morning show. Is it kind of sad? Well, it's a little sad, but that's okay because I actually really do have a guest with me, just not here in this chair. So, of course, we appreciate you tuning in, and we have a very, very special guest on the line with us this morning, and this special guest will be performing very, very soon at the Markay, and he has literally every time he has been here at the Markay sold out the house. So, without further ado, we want to welcome our good friend, Dwight Icenhower, to the program. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
We're great. How are you?
You know, I'm just trying. I'm not used to being up this early. It's actually about 6 a.m. where I am. I'm out in Los Angeles right now. So this is probably the earliest interview I've ever done. But hey, let's do it.
Well, we feel really special about that. And actually, we feel terribly about that because we didn't know that you were going to be in LA today. So
no, that's okay. I'm glad to be here.
You look fantastic for so early in the morning. How's that?
Well, I did my hair last night and I just laid still all night. You know,
just dreaming of this interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do that too, and then I wake up and it looks like this, so I don't know what to do with it. But
hey,
anyway.
It looks great.
Well, thanks. So, Dwight Icenhower, you are somewhat of a legend here in our area because you have performed here several times, but the cool thing is you have been able to perform at one of the neatest venues in our area, and that's the Markay Theater. And every time you've performed, you have sold out. And I'm telling you, I own a local restaurant in town, and every time that you perform, the ladies go wild and they come in to eat, and the energy in the room is just unbelievable before the concert, and I can't even imagine what it's like at the concert. So you definitely have won our locals over.
Yeah, you know, this will, like you said, this will be our 5th time at the Markay, and I particularly like the Markay because it's such an intimate venue. You know, there's not a bad seat in the house. Whether you're in the front row or the back row, it's just a great experience because it's such a tiny theater, and I love it because the energy is always through the roof in that place. You know, and like you said, Ohio is where I'm originally from.
Oh, okay.
I haven't lived there for some time, but I'm originally from Southeast Ohio in Meigs County, Pomeroy.
What? I didn't know that.
That's where I'm from originally. Yeah, I lived there till I was about maybe 22, 23 years old, and then I moved to Orlando. So, yeah. So it's always nice to come back home, you know?
That is so cool. A little tidbit of info I did not know. So thank you for sharing. So let's talk for a minute about, to back up, many people may know your story, but maybe they don't. And how did you get started doing Elvis?
You know, it kind of just happened as a fluke, really. I had originally I wanted to go to school. I was in college for music education just for a little while, and then this Elvis thing kind of took off. But it actually started back in high school. I was a sophomore in high school, and I was basically involved in any type of music that the school offered. I was in jazz band, marching band. I was, in everything.
Yeah.
And during downtime, during like when football season wasn't happening, we decided to do a variety show. And the band director knew I was a huge Elvis fan, and he asked me, he said, "Can you sing?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I haven't really done it. I haven't I've never tried. So I'll never forget it. I went to like Macy's or something and bought a lady's pink jacket, and I popped the collar up on and I drew some sideburns on, and there I was. I was the king for the first time, I guess. And so it was just like a snowball after that. Really, things started slowly happening, and here we are all these years later, and I'm, you know, performing 150 shows a year on a good year, when COVID's not happening, of course.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, what a happy accident. That is so cool. That's a neat story.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a certainly a blessing. I've been able to travel the world and play with the guys who worked with Elvis on all of his records, performed with him live. And so
Wow.
it just, I would have never dreamed that it would have happened like this, or I would be able to do the things I do, but I'm thankful.
That is so great. And to know that, see, you're just another story of a local person doing very, very well. I feel like we've had a lot of those recently here on the program. And it's just so, we're so proud of our area. We have such talent here. And to know that you have gotten out and about and gotten to travel the world doing what you love, that's pretty neat. Not many people can say that.
Absolutely. And I hope it continues at least, for a while.
There you go. The king is within you.
Absolutely. He's with us all. He's everywhere.
That's right. That's right. So, James had a couple questions he wanted me to ask you, so we're
Sure.
gonna get to that. What is since you get to do Elvis and you actually get into character and you are Elvis in the concert. What is your favorite Elvis song to listen to, and also what's your favorite one to sing?
Oh man, well Elvis had a repertoire of over 700 songs, but I would have my
Right.
favorite Elvis song to hear Elvis Presley sing is "Are You Lonesome Tonight." It's always been my favorite. Maybe you would think one of the rockers, but to me, I'd love to hear
No,
Elvis sing. I love his voice. So "Are
absolutely.
You Lonesome Tonight" was always one of my favorite. But as far as to sing or perform, there's so many that are a lot of fun. I would have to say maybe like Suspicious Minds, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
something with a little more action in it. It seems like the songs that go over the best in an actual concert are songs like Suspicious Minds, Hound Dog, all the classics.
Well, the ones where you can swivel those hips and also people can sing along for sure.
That's it. That's right. And we'll be doing a lot of those at the Markay coming up. So
Heck yeah. We would expect nothing less. Um, a lot of people don't know, and I just know this from my dad of growing up, owning radio stations and whatever, that Elvis had just an absolutely lovely voice and started out doing gospel music. So he
that's right.
was very talented.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's what was so special about Elvis Presley is he really encompassed all of that. I mean, he was highly influenced by the gospel music
Yes.
and the Grand Ole Opry and rhythm and blues. I mean, Little Richard was perhaps his biggest influence of all time. I mean,
Wow.
if you would have watched Elvis in 1956, if you would have been lucky enough to see him in a concert back then, half of his set list was Little Richard songs because he didn't have any hits at that time. So he just took
Funny.
them from his favorite entertainer, which was Little Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, and you find out that Elvis is bigger than life in a lot of people's eyes, but he also had inspiration and people that he looked up to. And I feel like all musicians, take parts of their favorites and put them together. So I did not know the Little Richard part of it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Little Richard, when you trace it back as far as the beginnings of rock and roll, I mean, he was before the Beatles, before Elvis, before anybody. I mean, but, yet he doesn't get the credit for it, which, that's unfortunate. But, it's just, yeah, influence comes from everywhere, especially the gospel side. Elvis Presley's probably his greatest influence as far as the type of music is gospel music
Yes.
because, he was raised in a church, so the first music he ever heard or performed was gospel music, and he would always incorporate that in his shows, and we usually do too. We usually include at least one gospel song of Elvis's in our
Love
show.
that. Good. I love that. Um, yeah, and you just that is really neat. And thanks for the kind of the history lesson, because I knew about the gospel
Yeah,
part, but didn't
right.
know about all that. All right. So second part of James's question: favorite Elvis movie to watch?
Well, he made 31 movies, but some of them were a little goofy. So I would have to say probably my favorite Elvis movie was his fourth movie, King Creole. It was a great acting role for him, which is something he never got in a lot of the movies. They never gave him a great role,
They were pretty cheesy,
But
some of them.
some of them could get that way a little bit. But my favorite one was King Creole, and it was originally a movie for what's the guy's name? James Dean. It was originally, the role was written for him, but of course he died just maybe about a half a year, maybe about 6 months before the movie was to be made, and so they changed the role from a boxer to a guy who could sing. So here's Elvis playing the role now. So
Hey, one
yeah,
heartthrob to another.
yeah, one legend to another.
That's exactly right. And those darn fast cars will get you.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so you have gotten to actually. How long have you been doing your Elvis show?
Oh, it's probably been close to 20, approaching 25 years now.
And still going
Yeah,
strong. That's awesome.
yeah. This is our fixing to be next year, probably our busiest year yet. I'll be going to Australia, all over Europe, possibly Japan, and all over the United States.
And that's what I was going to ask you. What are some of the coolest places that you've gotten to visit and perform? Because you have traveled all over the world. And then my second part of that question is, how logistically does all of that work? How do you travel and book everything, and you get from place to place and country to country, especially in today's world and in this COVID madness?
Yeah, it's well, it'll be interesting because I haven't traveled for a year and a half now,
Yeah.
basically. So getting back into the swing of things will be a little different, but we'll adjust to it. But as far as probably the coolest places I've ever played, I would definitely have to say Japan. I've maybe performed there for about 7 or 8 tours now, and it's just a whole nother universe. I mean, but it's beautiful. The people are just beautiful. The way they respond to the music. Some of the shows over there, I don't even dress as Elvis. I'm just Dwight Icenhower singing Elvis songs, and they
Really?
respect that. Yeah, they actually respect more of the music aspect of it than the smoke and mirrors and lights.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, so they appreciate more of just the singing ability and the performing the songs. And the same thing with Europe. We play Denmark, Finland, Holland, Sweden, Belgium, and Spain. We do a
Wow.
big tour, a 2-month tour, usually in April and May every year. And those shows I do as myself also. I don't wear the jumpsuits. I don't wear the wigs and all of that.
Really?
Uh, yeah, I'm just Dwight Eisenhower performing the songs of Elvis Presley with the guys who made the music with the real Elvis. So, yeah, the show is geared more towards the legendary artists on stage with me, and I love it. As an
That
Elvis fan, yeah, as an Elvis fan, being able to perform the songs with the people who made the music with Elvis is a real treat.
Oh, that would be an honor. Does it ever just like, do you ever stop and just have to pinch yourself? Like, wow, I'm getting to literally travel the world, singing songs of one of my, biggest, as a fan of Elvis.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every time I'm on stage with those guys and girls, I mean, it's just, especially like when I play with the Sweet Inspirations. The Sweet Inspirations, Elvis was just this much of what they sang on. I mean, if you ever heard, Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield,
Yeah.
if you ever heard Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison, I mean, these legendary recordings, it's all the Sweet Inspirations singing the backup vocals on all these records,
Really? I did not know that.
yeah, just about every single Aretha Franklin record, every classic hit, Chain of Fools, all those songs was Elvis's backup singers, the Sweet Inspirations. And they perform with us several times a year. So
That is so cool.
yeah.
I did see you're teaching us stuff we didn't know. Well, we'll get to your concert here locally, but I do have a couple of more questions for you. So when you are out traveling, that's interesting that you don't necessarily dress up as Elvis. They're more interested in the music. And how do you know when to dress up like Elvis and when to be Dwight Icenhower?
Well, they usually specify what kind of show they're looking for. And, here in the States, majority of my shows I perform them while I'm on stage as Elvis Presley. I mean, I dress like him. I do an accurate portrayal of Elvis on stage. But not so much when I travel abroad. They're more into the music. I mean, it's the shows are strictly built around the music of Elvis Presley. So the other stuff is not necessary. They're just interested in seeing a great show, hearing some stories, and hearing the music the way it sounded when they heard it originally on the records, So.
Well, and my dad has often said that you sound more like Elvis than Elvis sounded like Elvis, and he's said that 100 times probably. So that is amazing. You have won quite a few awards. And James was telling me, somehow I missed this. I have no idea how I missed this. You ended up on an Apple commercial. Tell us about that.
Yeah. We were out in Chicago. This was an early part of 2018. And I noticed this lady walking around. She was like filming just with her phone. She was filming, us backstage and on stage and, walking through the hotel. And I was just, who is this lady,
Yeah,
that's
and about weird.
A week later. Yeah. About a week later, I got an email and she said she's from a production company. They wouldn't really give me a lot of details about it because it was very hush hush, until they wrapped up everything as far as contracts and all that go. But she said, we want you to be in a commercial. And I've been approached before about being in these commercials, being Elvis. And they always want you to do something, hokey or cheesy or make Elvis look like a joke. And so I just basically, yeah, exactly. Yeah. The media has been very harsh to Elvis over the years since he passed. So I usually don't want anything to do with commercials or anything like that.
I could see that.
Yeah. So I initially I told her, no, I'm really not interested. And she wrote back and she said, okay, we're really not supposed to tell you this, but I'll tell you it's for Apple. And I wrote her back one word. I wrote yes. And I hit send on the email. And but it ended up turning out great. We were on the Super Bowl. We played during the Super Bowl in 2018.
That's cool.
Yeah, and to date, if you add up all of the times this thing has been viewed on YouTube, I'm talking the Canada version of Apple, India Apple, the United States, Japan. It's been viewed over 1.4 billion times on YouTube. Billion, 1.4 billion times on YouTube. Yeah. So that blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But yeah, it was great to be a part of it. And I actually opened and closed the commercial. I'm the first thing you see and then the last thing you see. And it was so cool.
That's very good. Did you get to put some input into it, or did you do as you were told with Apple?
A little bit. I mean, they knew that I knew everything about Elvis, basically. So they would ask for my direction. I specifically remember they had it basically mapped out exactly the way they wanted it. I mean, the guy that produced this commercial had just won like 12 awards on the awards show for the directing the movie La La Land.
Oh.
It was the same like director.
That little movie.
Yeah, that little movie with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, right.
But so I knew they knew what they were doing, but they would ask me certain things like, what would Elvis do like to wrap up this commercial? Like, would there be a signature pose or something? So, I mean, I would help them out on things like that. But then they also, threw at me that, like, we want you to look in the camera and do the Elvis lip and say, thank you very much. And, Elvis it up. And I said, guys, I really don't want to be cheesy, so they respected things like that. So they were very great. I mean, it was great to work with those guys.
Yeah, and I think that what you're doing and trying to preserve Elvis as a human being and whatever is wonderful, because you're right. The media has been really rough to him, and all of the stories out there of him still being alive and whatever. We actually, strangely enough, this is something I can tell you, had a doctor here locally a few years ago that was on the program, and one of his stories that he told was, it's an unfortunate story, but he was a resident at the hospital and when Elvis died. And he said he was on an elevator and the elevator stopped like going, and he finally ended up going down to, because they locked down the hospital basically, and he said when he walked out he was in the ER and Elvis was there, and so he's like, I'm a witness to it. I mean, not too many people could actually say that they were there. But anyway, so I thought, well, that was he wrote a big essay about it. It's really interesting. If I think about it, I'll get it to you.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, super cool. He actually had emailed it to me. So, all right. Well, let's talk about your time at the Markay, and when will you be here? How can people get to see you?
There's only about 30, maybe 30 plus tickets left for this
Hey,
thing.
there you are.
Yeah, hey, there it is. After all the hair and makeup, yeah, there I am. The show is actually going to be Saturday, July 24th this year. It's coming up at 8 p.m. at the Markay Theater here in Jackson, Ohio. And this will be our 5th time there. And we're hoping for a record 5th sellout. The past 4 shows have been completely sold out. And there's only maybe upwards of 30, maybe 30, 35 tickets at the most left. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We always have a great time.
And I think that's so awesome. And as you said, the Markay is such a great venue for a show exactly like yours, because it can be intimate. There's not a bad seat in the house. Doesn't matter where you are. You can be standing in the lobby and it would still be fantastic.
Exactly. It's great.
Absolutely. And so how do you, okay, here's a fun one for you. What is the strangest thing that a fan has that you've encountered from a fan?
Oh my gosh. I mean, what's not the strange,
Lots of panties and bras, I would assume.
Well, that's more Tom Jones. I don't really get that.
Hey, I have a story about Tom Jones too.
Oh, you do?
I do. He totally hit on me in Las Vegas and asked me backstage. So I had a drink with Tom Jones backstage.
That's in true Tom Jones fashion. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I didn't even throw anything at him. Anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
I love Tom Jones also.
He was so nice. Yeah.
He didn't ask backstage for a drink, but that's okay. Okay, back to the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Well, there's been so many crazy things, but one just off the top of my head I'll never forget, and this was back in the beginning, like probably 3 or 4 years into me doing this, so I was very young, and I didn't really have any experience at all on stage or anything. But my first promotional video that we ever put out there, we were so anxious to get this thing filmed, and I hired a professional film crew. We had this huge Elvis sign. It was maybe about 12 feet tall. Each letter was about 12 feet by 4 feet, and they had 500 red light bulbs on it that spelled out Elvis. And there's a classic song that Elvis closed the 1968 special with, a beautiful song called "If I Can Dream," and the whole the whole video, like the climax of this video, was going to be this song, "If I Can Dream." So
Okay.
we had everything perfect. The band was sounding great. I mean, just everything perfect. And I had went out, and Elvis wore this iconic white two-piece tuxedo, not the jumpsuit. It was a two-piece tuxedo with a red neckerchief around his neck, and it's one of the most iconic shots of Elvis. Is from this video, from the '68 special, and we are filming this thing, and it's an emotional song that speaks of like peace, love, world peace, and just a beautiful song. So I'm all emotion. My emotions are going. I'm into this song. I'm singing my heart out, and I see out of the corner of my eye this lady, and she's on stage. She's on stage, and she's like going like this, like come here, come to me, Elvis. And she starts walking toward me, and she grabs my little red neckerchief and starts pulling me around the stage. So the whole video was ruined because of this. We had to go back when the crowd was gone and reshoot it. The energy wasn't the same. So this lady basically just ruined my whole first promotional video.
Oh
So
no.
that's probably, and all, another thing that happened. We ran over a lady. We
What?
this, yeah, listen to this. So we were a Christmas parade. Okay, we were float in my hometown in Pomeroy, Ohio. We were in this float, and my band is on this float, and we're playing Blue Christmas over and over and over. And we're announcing in between songs, please do not approach the stage. I had the Elvis scarves. The Elvis would hand out scarves.
Yes.
And so I had these scarves. I said, please don't approach the stage. I'll throw them to you. Stay out there. So this one lady didn't pay any attention. She came up and grabbed the scarf from around my neck and would come too close, and we ran over her foot. She falls underneath the thing. And I'm thinking Christmas, I'm like, I'll have a blue, we ran over. I mean, literally over this poor fan. And if she's watching, I apologize, but we told you. So yeah, a
Hey,
couple
all
crazy
you have to
things.
do is follow direction, man. It's not hard.
It's not that hard.
So I'm sensing the moral of both of your stories is that you should not wear anything around your neck.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've actually retired that. I don't wear anything now.
That is great. I mean, those are not great stories, but you have to have them along the way for sure.
You can't make that stuff up.
No, you can't. Absolutely. Well, is there anything else you would like to tell our viewers while you're here with us today? And you have been such a great sport, and I know it's early out there in LA, and we cannot thank you
Ah,
enough for
yeah,
tuning
no,
in.
it's really no problem. I'm glad to be able to do it. But you know, uh, I would just say, if you're a skeptic, if you are not a fan of Elvis tribute acts, Elvis impersonators, just give it a shot. I don't think I'm Elvis. If I did, I'd be sitting here with sunglasses and doing this. Uh, I don't think I'm Elvis. We have a great time. It's great music, and just even if you're a music fan in general, just a music fan, come out. I mean, it's going to be a great time. We're going to bring back memories from 1956 clear through 1977 when the world lost the greatest entertainer that ever lived and everything in between. We're going to cover it all. So you're going to hear all the classics, and then maybe some of those songs you forgot about. So make sure and grab those tickets up while they last. There's only maybe 35 tickets left.
That's right, and they will go quickly. And again, we cannot thank you enough for coming to our area and not forgetting where you came from because it is much
Absolutely.
appreciated. All right.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you, and come and see us anytime or give us a ring anytime. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
All right, Dwight Icenhower, and he will be performing at the Markay. You have what, a week and a half or something like that to get your tickets. There's only about 30 left, and we have to make sure that he becomes the fifth sellout of all time at the Markay. That's amazing. We have to do it. We have to. All right. Well, Miss, what? Oh, yeah. That's right. We do. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. We actually have a clip of Dwight Icenhower performing. So we're going to head to that right now, and then we'll be back.
Go something over my head, sing what you do. Oh, well, baby, common people, but I'm your brother. And when you strike out to try to hurt me, it's a hurt you. Oh, yeah, say, what am I in my shoes? Yeah, boy, you abuse, criticize and accuse. Well, our people on reservations and right in the ghetto, and brother there before the grace of God, of you and I. Oh, with my holy and the wings of an angel, get on the drum with the so the boy you abuse, criticize and accuse, I should go out. I should. I should. Yeah, boy you abuse, criticize and accuse, I should. I know we went over a little bit, but you know, that's rock and roll, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody here at this beautiful theater at the Markay for having us 4 years in a row, right? Yeah, 4 years in a row. And would you guys come back and see us again next year if we're here? Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to do one more little song for you, and then right after this song, we're going to be out in the lobby. Come out and say hello to us. I have CDs, I have t-shirts, I have pictures. Even if you don't buy anything, just come out and say hello. I would love to see y'all.
Summer loving happens so fast.
Baby, baby, you know I get down on my knees for you.
That's how much I love you.
I do it for
That's
you.
how much I love you, sweet lady.
If you love me, like you should.
That's how much I love you. That's how much I love you, sweet lady.
We have love,
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 love you don't find every day.
oh no, you don't find it every day.
Yeah, some don't,
Don't,
no,
don't,
I'll take you away.
bring back that
Love you. Oh, that love you feel. Bring back that love you feel. 'Cause it's gone, gone, gone. And I can't go on. Whoa, sing
back that love and feel. Bring back that love and feel.
Timothy and Donna singing those girl parts, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
There's your sneak peek of Dwight Icenhower at the Markay. That's from one of his previous performances. So here again, don't forget, Dwight Icenhower at the Markay, July 24th this year, just like in a week or two, Saturday, July 24th, 8 p.m., Markay Jackson, tickets $30 in advance, $32 the day of the show, but I can guarantee you, I would say 99.9% that there will not be any day of the show tickets available. You can get those tickets by visiting markaytickets.org or calling the Markay box office at 740-577-3841 and see Dwight Icenhower as Elvis. And boy, it doesn't get much better than that. All right, let's head on over to your weather forecast. And it is looking, well, kind of warm today. Not a lot of rain in the forecast today or tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies today, highs around 85. Tonight, mostly clear, lows of 67. And then on Thursday, mostly sunny, highs around 88 degrees, a little bit warmer tomorrow. And then on Friday, those chances of rain, that stupid 50-50 chance of rain, back into the forecast and highs around 89 degrees. Looking on to the Jackson County Fair next week. Who knows? We'll let you know as the week rolls on. All right. So we are back, and one of the great things about being an intern is you have to do whatever we say.
Right.
Right. So Miss Jenna is here today, but she has something really fun and interesting to talk about, and that is because, you know, with all this COVID madness, many, as Dwight Icenhower was just saying, concerts were canceled, and last night Jimmy Buffett came back to Cincinnati, and you got to go.
I did. It was a super last minute decision because me and my parents always talk about going to his shows when he's in Cincinnati. But we decided that we weren't going to because me and my dad both worked and we didn't have to want to wake up early the next day. But yesterday, I think it was maybe 10 a.m., my dad texted my mom and said, can we just go? Like, can we just go to the show? So we got tickets.
I love that.
And we went. I think it was a good decision. We all needed to do something fun.
You know, and that's the thing. If you know, when you're a live music lover, and so the thing is, Buffett is like an adventure and an event. It's not like going to a concert. So you go to concerts and you say, oh, they sing the music, and then you go home. Like Jimmy Buffett concerts are an all day like event thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get yourself like in that mode. You know, it's like you've entered a whole another world.
Yeah, we talked to somebody who said they had been there. Like, they woke up at 5 a.m. and got there at 8 in the morning. And they had been there all day. The concert was at 8 at night. And they had been there all day tailgating.
People tailgate all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thing. So if you haven't been to a Buffett concert, it's an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So with the pandemic, many obviously concerts got canceled. So no Buffett last year. And I haven't been for a few years since I think I've been there since like 17. I think we went with your parents, but so did you what did you see? And you've been to several concerts. Did you see anything different? Like, were people more wound up, or were they more conservative, or how was it?
Oh my gosh. So me and my dad were joking that we think like the entire population of Northern Ohio was there. Like, I'm pretty sure they oversold Riverbend. And I mean, it's a huge venue to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have a lawn, it's outdoors, people can stand anywhere. But I mean, people were flooded out into like the normal area where you can get drinks and food. I mean,
like they couldn't even get into
like they couldn't even get on the lawn. It was so packed.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, there were people everywhere. I think that was one time where I was like, maybe I missed social distancing just a little bit.
Could you spread out that 6 feet, please? This is a little too close for my comfort.
For sure. But I mean, it was so nice. I mean, obviously, people at Buffett concerts are crazy all the time. Mm-hmm. It's something you just have to prepare yourself for. Mm-hmm. But I think it was definitely up the next notch.
People were wound up. So did he, so the past concerts that I've been to, which is perfectly fine for me as being a Buffett fan for many years, listening to Jimmy Buffett before a lot of people listened to Jimmy Buffett. The normal songs you know by heart is what he calls them, like his normal songs. He sings, and you get so tired of hearing those because those are the ones that they play over and over on the radio and stuff like that. So the past several concerts I've been to, he's really deep, you know, like reached deep down in and gotten pulled out some songs that like are kind of rarities. Did he do that this time, or was it more sing-along stuff?
He did a lot of both.
Okay.
I think he wanted to appeal to the fact that he hasn't had a concert in a while, so people were just excited to sing the ones that he sings all the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he played Brown Eyed Girl, like, ones that everybody knows, which was nice, because I brought my friend who doesn't necessarily know that much Jimmy Buffett.
Gotcha.
So I think that she appreciated that, but I think everybody was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what's the craziest thing that you saw? I'll tell you my craziest thing that I've ever seen at a Buffett concert.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I bet you if you called Jamie right now and asked him the craziest thing that he's ever seen at a Buffett
Can I
concert.
take a guess what the craziest thing you've seen at a Jimmy Buffett concert was?
You can take a guess, but you can't guess this.
Was it Jimmy Buffett running over somebody's foot on a parade float when they were trying to grab his scarf?
He did not. Far as I know, he did not run over anyone. I have not seen that. I mean, it's possible, but I didn't see it. So, what is the craziest thing that you saw yesterday?
Oh boy. I always really appreciate all the outfits.
Mm-hmm.
There was one lady who had, those aprons or like t-shirts that people will wear that have like bikinis with like model bodies on the front of them.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
really a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody wore an apron, but like the boobs actually stuck out. So that was fun. There were a lot of people wearing shark hats. There were a lot of just people under the influence, so that was fun to see. But, oh gosh, nothing will beat when I saw Emilio Estevez in 2016.
Yeah.
Nothing beats that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I feel like everything is just subpar after I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to tell you my funny story.
I can't
Actually, this all happened in the same year. Well, this was the year that Carmen had to save me because I took a tumble down the lawn and landed in the middle of these people's picnic.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Which they did not think I was as funny as I thought I was funny
Of
at
course.
the time. But that's a whole other story. And Carmen saved me. And picked me up, but it was because we were on the lawn, and literally, if you've never been to Riverbend's lawn, it is really steep.
Oh, yeah. Straight down.
And what happened was, I think I tripped over my flip-flop, and it's one of those where you start going, and you're trying to save yourself, and the more you save yourself, the worse it gets.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing like one of these, and landed like smack dab in the middle of this couple on a blanket.
Oh, no.
Number one, if you're at a Buffett concert, do not take a blanket and sit down on the lawn. Bad things are going to happen, like people falling in the middle of your blanket. But anyway, that was a whole other story. So yeah, same concert. Jamie and I are in the beverage line, if you will. And we get right up to the line, and the line was right beside the girls' bathroom entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So we get right up to the line. There's this guy waiting on us. We're like, we want like 2 beers or whatever. And he's like, okay. And all of a sudden, one of the restroom room attendants comes out screaming, they're in a fight! They're in a fight! And these 2 girls, it was like the movies, like where they bust out of a like Wild West saloon. These 2 girls come busting out of the entrance of the bathroom, and I mean just throwing it down. Like hair yanking, flying, I mean, just down on the ground, just beating the tar out of each other. And the restroom room attendant was a female, and she's like, somebody help me. Like, I don't know what to do. And we're literally like from me to you from this fight. And we're standing there like this, and the bathroom attendant, she looks at him. She's like, help. And he's like, I won't even tell you what he said. It was a lot of swear words. Like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm having to do this right now. And he was like, I'll be right back. And he had to jump in the middle of 2 fighting girls and try to get them apart. And they, I mean, literally beat the tar out of each other. So I don't know what it was about, but I don't know in that happy of an environment how you can get into a fist fight at a Buffett concert.
It's like the best vibes ever.
But I know. But that happened. So I will never, ever forget that,
Yeah, of course
ever.
not.
It
That's
was
crazy.
like, I've just never seen girls fight like that before, and especially not at a Buffett concert.
Mm-mm.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, there you go. So, all right. So, like, how was the traffic and all that stuff? Was it tough getting in and out?
It was hard getting in because it was raining. And
I forgot about that. It
Yeah.
was pouring
we
yesterday.
had to park far away, so the walk was not fun at all because none of us brought umbrellas. Super smart of us. So we were just walking in the pouring rain. We weren't the only ones, but I wore tennis shoes and everyone else wore flip-flops, so I was feeling very privileged in that moment, but we
Yes.
didn't bring umbrellas.
Smart girl.
I try.
We
Okay.
taught you up real good here.
But getting home, it was actually like the quickest we've ever gotten out of one of those venues. I think.
Well, it's like the Griswold. When you park in the back of the parking lot, you get out first.
Oh, yeah. I think the biggest issue is that we just had to maneuver our way around a lot of people. It wasn't the cars, it was just the people, because everyone was kind of like trying to tailgate around the cars that were surrounding us. So my dad just had to like go 2 miles per hour just to get out of the spot. But once we got into it, people were nice and they let us out, thankfully.
And you didn't run over anyone?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No feet. Mm-mm.
that you know of.
Right.
And honestly, they were probably so intoxicated they wouldn't
Oh, yeah,
have
they
felt
wouldn't
it
have
anyway.
cared. Mm-mm.
They'd have been like, I got my foot run over. Awesome. Very good. So what is your favorite Jimmy Buffett song?
Oh. Like, Come Monday.
Okay.
That's a good one. I don't know. I feel like my parents have taught me to just know the song when I hear it. And I appreciate the environment. I'm not as big of a Buffett fan as they are, but I'll go for the experience.
So you're kind of like me. So when I was a little girl, my brother Jeff, literally every morning when he got up to go to high school, turn on Jimmy Buffett and blared it throughout the house.
Yeah.
So I didn't get up till a little bit after he did. So literally, I'm laying in bed every morning as a little girl, and through osmosis, these songs are just like embedded into my body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was probably, 8, 9 back then. So I think back about, that's how I learned about Jimmy Buffett and knew about him way before anybody else, because Jeff was like a huge fan way before. I mean, there were always Buffett fans, but like he was a huge fan. And so yeah, you kind of learn those songs through osmosis, I feel like.
Yeah.
They just play over and over and they just get embedded into your your brain.
Since I've lived in Jackson, like we've had our pool.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you're by the pool, it's what you're listening to.
Yep.
And I feel like just over the years, I trained myself to just expect to hear it. And I can't fight it anymore. Like even if every now and then they'll let me play my music, but I just have to expect Buffett is playing.
Buffett's playing.
Yeah.
Kenny Chesney or Buffett, one
True.
or the other.
Good
Zach
point.
Brown.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm okay with Zach Brown.
Yeah.
Because that it's sparingly. They put it in there every now and then. But
no, I'm so glad that you got to go. And it's so nice that you all, that things are getting back. I saw our good friend Dwight Icenhower just posted, and thank you, buddy, for talking with us too. We greatly appreciate you. But I'm sure he's feeling the same way as it's just nice to get back to some normalcy.
oh my gosh, so nice. I think at the after everything started to wrap up in the pandemic, my parents had talked the entire time about how once concerts started back up, we were going to every single one. Mm-hmm. And I feel like since we decided to go so last minute, it's just showing that we were so ready to go back to live performances.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. I mean, it like nothing replaces it.
No. And the fun thing is, as if you would literally take the 24th and go see Dwight Icenhower as Elvis, you will come out a 100% Elvis fan if you did not go in an Elvis fan, sure. Because you will have that appreciation for that kind of music and his life,
right?
And what he was, and I feel like it's the same anytime you see an artist in person. It's just like, I feel like you come out being that much more of a fan because they're actually, you can put a person to the music.
Absolutely. I mean, I always forget how big, because I mean, Jimmy Buffett, you hear his name and you hear like the Coral Reef Band, but you aren't aware of how big his band is. I mean, they fill up the entire stage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's so awesome. And he always takes the time to like introduce each one of them and say what they play. It's so cool. But I mean, they're all so talented.
Yep.
I love it.
Is he getting along all right?
Yeah, he's actually doing really well.
Okay.
Still not wearing shoes on stage.
No
Never.
shoes.
Mm-mm. Oh, this was so cute. So he said this was a first time for everything, but last night he was about to start a song, and he looked down at his guitar, and he was like, "There's a grasshopper on my guitar," and you just stopped playing the song. So he was just sitting there trying to like get it off, just ever so delicately, and he set it on the keyboard, and he said, "Enjoy the show, sweetie." But it was so cute.
Aww.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, that's adorable. Oh my gosh. So do you have any other plans for number one, how'd you guys get tickets last minute?
Oh, I have no idea. My mom has her ways.
Sneaky Jill.
For sure.
I won't ask.
Mm-mm.
She won't tell, I won't
No,
ask.
she would never.
She could tell us, but she'd have to kill us.
So
No. So what, do you have any other concerts coming up? I mean, heck, we have the Kentucky Headhunters right here in Jackson
True.
on Saturday.
So true.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. If you haven't been to a concert, that's a really good way to dip your toe in
For sure.
for $10.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question, Jen, about
Yeah.
the Kentucky Headhunters. I think we should do an over-under how many people we think are going to show up.
Oh.
Because they said in 1990, 10,000 people showed up.
They expected 3.
And that venue is like made for 2,000.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
Let's just say that it's going to be thousands.
it's going to be a lot of people.
Thousands and thousands of people. And if you don't go, you're going to be sadly.
Yeah. I know
You're going to be sad.
Red Thompson's going to be there front row center covering it for the paper. So I think maybe next week we should have Red up one morning and tell us all about the Kentucky Headhunters.
Do you think if I pull in and say I was the 1990 Horse Queen, they'll give me one of those seats up front?
Absolutely. Wear your sash and your crown.
Yeah.
I need to talk to Michelle about that was here yesterday.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, and then this is my entourage. I'll see if I can get y'all in, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
These are my people.
I'll get a sash made.
There you go.
Horse
Like
Queen
her
first
people.
attendant. Yeah.
I'm with her.
An arrow.
Yeah. No, so do you have any other fun things planned this summer, concert-wise or other?
I mean, considering this one was so last minute, I'd never dismiss nothing else happening. I think my parents want to go see Zach Brown,
Mm-hmm.
although I might be at school already.
I know that's
Yeah.
a wild one because I
Yeah.
know that you go to school right before that concert.
Although I might go because my roommate plans to go to a Jonas Brothers concert in September. So, might as well.
I mean, why not? And when you have the opportunity to go to these things, these people, these artists could, I mean, they're human. They could not be here tomorrow. And,
Right.
and to say, oh, well, I'll just go next year or
Mhm.
whatever. Well, you never know. And of course, everyone's been saying Jimmy Buffett's going to retire for, I don't know, the past 15 years, and he hasn't done it yet. But
I think he's 73.
just still out there, just having a good time.
Absolutely.
But when you get to do what you love, it's not like work and it's a good time. And I'll bet that pandemic literally almost killed these artists that love to perform.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Mhm.
Well, that is your life. You need that. You need that crowd and to get out and do those live performances. So that would be sad. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can't count how many times he thanked everyone for coming last night. I mean, he does it anyway, but it had to be a new record.
Yeah. Because he appreciates it.
Mm-hmm.
And so did they take any kind of, just for future people going to future concerts, was there any kind of like COVID protocol, or was it just like normal?
It was free for all.
Just go for
Yeah.
it? No distancing in the beer line?
Oh, no, never.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
If anything, I would have liked that because the entire time I was standing in line to get like a water, it was just somebody like right here.
You're like, back off.
Space, please.
Yeah. Do they have Skyline there?
Yes.
Oh.
My dad wouldn't go if there wasn't Skyline.
I'm just going to tell you, I don't know what it is recently, but I have got this, like, I cannot get Skyline off the brain. And, so people either love Skyline chili or they hate it, and I've come to that realization.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
very
gosh.
polarizing,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's fantastic. What do you think, James? Skyline, thumbs
I'm
up or down?
I'm a fan.
Yeah, me too.
I like it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't.
They don't
My-
like the cinnamon in it.
Yeah. Well, my
the good part.
sister's, like, her husband's family, they're all from, like, the Cincinnati area.
Yeah.
And that's, like, the only thing they use for, like, spaghetti and hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't really get the spaghetti part,
Oh,
but I'm all for the hot dogs.
yeah.
But, like, my family who are from southeastern Ohio, and they're used to our hot dog sauce,
Mm-hmm.
they're less of a fan of the Cincinnati style chili.
Mm.
But I like it.
I did that for actually Father's Day. We did burgers and hot dogs, and I told Jamie, I was like, we're doing hot dogs. I'm gonna get Skyline.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and I don't even eat hot dogs, but I had to.
No, I feel like it's the one time I'll cave.
It's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime my dad wants to make dinner, like 9 times out of 10, he's making spaghetti, and he'll like make Skyline.
Yes. So good.
Mm.
It's just a weird process if y'all don't know how to make the Skyline chili.
It's an art.
It's definitely different, and it goes against every thing that we've ever been taught. So you brown, when you make normal sauce, you brown the burger before you put the sauce in or whatever. And this is you like literally boil the hamburger.
Yeah.
So it's super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask, just eat it. It's fantastic.
True.
But no, I couldn't remember if they had Skyline there I figured they did at the
Lines
venue.
for everything were so long.
Were they?
And I think my dad ended up wanting Skyline, but he couldn't get it because the
Mhm.
lines were just so long.
That's why you stop at the Taco Bell on the way out of town.
Yeah, I think we got McDonald's before we went to the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had walked around so much, we were hungry by the end.
Yeah,
So.
I could see that.
Mhm.
That's one thing about concerts, man. It's tough to get in and out of them.
Oh, for sure.
You have a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I'm glad you had a good time. And
Mhm.
I saw your mom posted a picture of a girl that had like a T-shirt, and it was like, what did it say?
It said something like, it's been 370 something days, like 1 pandemic, 2 vaccines since I last saw Buffett.
Yeah, it was
Like
really cute.
she had all the
She had it all
logistics lined
listed.
up. It was cute though.
You're like, you know what? You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, no kidding.
that's so true.
I want to know like when she started calculating all of that.
I know. How does she know? How does she remember?
Yeah.
Hey, whatever,
Made
man.
for a cute shirt. That's all that matters.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
And she wrote it in like a marker.
It was like obviously homemade, but it was so cute.
Very, very adorable. So, all right. Well, very good. Glad that you guys got to go. And sometimes those spur of the moment plans are the best.
Yeah.
So after the show, she's like, hey, I think I'm going to Buffett. And I was like, oh my God.
My
You're-
mom had literally texted me like right after the show ended, and she was like, "Are you still down for Buffett?" I'm like, I thought we had completely
Like, I
like
thought that
kicked
was
that
out.
out the door, but nope.
No, we're in it to win it, man. And but I was like, oh, you're going to be tired today.
Yeah, I brought a Red Bull this morning, and I think it's just now kicking in. So hopefully I'll be good.
Well, you're looking fantastic
Oh,
for being
thank you.
home so late.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, is there anything else we needed to talk about or whatever? I do want to thank Dwight Icenhower for literally getting up at the butt crack to talk with us this morning. That was amazing. And that's fun to talk to folks that and I did not realize he's from our local area.
I didn't either.
So there you go. All right, James, we all good?
Well, we gotta say that there's a new edition of the Telegram out this morning.
Yes.
So if you're a subscriber, it'll be in your mailbox. If not,
Here
grab
it
a
is.
copy at your local convenience store. It's got all the stuff leading up to the fair.
That's absolutely right. You'll have the fair info in there. Kentucky Headhunters this coming Saturday. And then our friend Jess, she's on here too,
Yeah,
will be there next Saturday. So,
Wednesday.
or is it Wednesday?
Yeah, she's there
Okay.
next week from today.
I'm sorry,
I
a
believe.
week from today. Headhunters usher in the full-scale Jackson County Fair. So it is starting here tomorrow, actually, with the ponies.
Oh yeah.
So you better do your research.
I know.
Sister. All right. Anybody has any questions, either contact the fair or more importantly, pick up this issue of the Telegram and you can find out all you need to know in it. So, all right. Well, have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for telling about your experience last night.
Of course.
Loved hearing about it, and I'll have to live vicariously through you since I didn't get to go this year.
Right, or you'll just have to come to another one with us.
Have to come to another one. Yep. There you go. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll be right back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.